Pretty busy.
Jenkins is running integration tests. Say, did you study quantum mechanics in college?
Of course, every engineer studies a little quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is so cool.
I never did.
You're a programmer and you didn't even study a little quantum mechanics?
Wasn't on our curriculum. Listen to this. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics asserts that all possible alternate histories and futures are real. The hypothesis states that there is an infinite number of universes, and everything that can happen does in one or more of these universes. Every time a binary decision event occurs, the universe splits into two new universes, with alternative A outcome happening in one universe and alternative B outcome in the other.
Yep, that's what they told us in college.
But this is crazy!
Dave, that idea is the foundation for half of all science fiction stories ever written. Or at least everything with parallel worlds and alternative dimensions. How did you not know this?
Did you study the many worlds interpretation in college?
Sure. Introduction to Quantum Mechanics. What was that guy's name? Oh, Everett.
I never took quantum mechanics.
How are you a programmer and you never took quantum mechanics?
It's not like we need quantum mechanics to program.
True, but you just do it in college. It's a natural law, the way of things.
But this is crazy! Look at this! Heads. See that? Poof! We're in a new universe where I flipped heads. There's another universe that just got created where I flipped tails, rushing away from us. That Dave's having this conversation there, just talking about tails instead of heads.
Poof.
So, you still on for Dark Souls tomorrow night?
Absolutely.
Are you two still playing that video game? When was it released? Like 2011?
It's a timeless game of fantasy combat, where you bludgeon each other with swords against a stark medieval backdrop. Want to come over?
Nah, Dark Souls is too hard for me. You know who you should play against? That Macy Williams in DevOps.
She plays Dark Souls?
So I hear.
Structure, Louise wants a word.
Louise?
Yep, right away.
You're meeting with management?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Have you been questioning process again?
No. I suppose I better go see what she wants.
Structure, it's been an honor.
Can I have your parking space?
Hey, science.
Macy?
Listen, you have to tell that team of yours to stop clogging up my servers.
Clogging up?
Yeah, your team's just 10% of the people on my servers, but triggers 60% of the Jenkins jobs. Servers don't grow on trees, you know.
Don't those Jenkins jobs run automatically on commit? Maybe we just commit a lot. Maybe we're 60% of the department's productivity.
Maybe I don't care. I care about my servers. And when one team's hogging all my resources, my manager gets angry. And when my manager gets angry, I get angry. And when I get angry, someone's team stops triggering Jenkins jobs. Okay?
Jenkins jobs.
Structure. Hello.
Hi, Louise.
Do come in. How are you?
Good. And you?
Couldn't be better. My daughter has just given me my first grandson, and I'm on top of the world. We would be honored if you would join us.
Us?
Well, me.
So tell all.
What?
What? Louise, what did management want you to do? You in trouble?
Oh, that? Nah. That was a little odd.
Odd how?
Well, she wanted to talk about a pay raise.
Oh.
But she didn't just come out and say it, she put it as a question.
What question?
She asked me whether I deserved a pay raise.
She asked you whether you deserved a pay raise?
The psychological trench warfare of management negotiation.
What did you say?
I said yes.
Good answer.
I certainly thought so.
So was that it?
Well, we chatted. I had some of those delicious Scottish shortbread cookies she always has on offer.
Those things are delicious. And so Scottish. And so buttery. How come the Scots make the butteriest cookies in the world?
Did she actually say you would get a pay raise?
No, not really, but she did compliment me on my work. Said I had a good intuition for source code.
Oh, that's not a compliment.
Of course it's a compliment.
Structurist? Is that a compliment?
It's not a compliment.
Saying you have an intuition is saying that you immediately know when something's right, but you don't know why it's right or how you know.
But that's great. It's like a superpower.
No, it isn't. If you can't say why something's right, then you just don't understand it. Artists have intuition. Engineers reach conclusions through rational, inferential process. Intuition can evaporate at any time. That's why writers get writer's block, but engineers don't get engineer's block. You can't depend on intuition for long-term problem solving. A modern program is just, 20,000 little solutions to 20,000 little problems. You want repeatable rationality for that puppy.
So, Louise thinks I'm flaky.
Or at least flighty.
Sporadic.
Lacking substantial dependability.
This sounds bad. How did I miss this?
Did you sleep badly last night? You know you never perform well when you sleep badly.
Oh, Macy Williams was looking for you just before lunch. She did not look happy.
What is it with her and those servers? She treats them like they're her pets.
Hey, Science, I thought I told you to lay off the Jenkins servers.
We're releasing code. We're paid to release code, so we release code.
You're kicking off 30-minute test round trips for 3 measly lines of committed source. Back off.
Back off. This is our job. Look, I'm getting a little tired of this. I challenge you to a Dark Souls duel.
You want to challenge me to a Dark Souls duel?
Choose your favorite weapon. If I win, then you never talk to our team again about Jenkins servers. And if you win,
Then our team's only allowed 1 commit per week.
what?
Deal. Oh, this is gonna be sweet.
Thursday night, 8 p.m., his place.
I'll be there.
Yeah, well, so will I.
Well, this is certainly an exciting development.
Structure, you sure you want to do that?
To protect our team from the tyranny of DevOps, absolutely.
You know how good she is at Dark Souls? You know, last summer, she went on a 2-month invasion spree without a single defeat.
She once destroyed a 3-man gang squad with nothing but an unleveled bandit's knife.
They say she does boss rushes to relax.
Yup, she's one mean Dark Souls player.
Yep.
Oops.
Oops.
Better get thumbing that controller.
Where have you been all morning? It's nearly lunchtime. Shh. You know we have a feature review in less than 3. And these JUnit tests won't.
Dave! You'll do. I bought tickets to the basketball game tonight, but I can't go. You want them?
Yes.
Here.
Wait, why did you ask me?
You know, I'm not sure. I just saw you there and remembered you like basketball, I guess. Funny thing is, I don't even like you. Go figure.
It works. I'm in my own lucky universe.
What?
Remember we were talking about that many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics yesterday? And that new universes branch off at every decision event? Well, I was thinking, could I choose which universe I go into when it branches off? I mean, obviously I can't just slip into a universe where I'm King of Spain,
Obviously.
obviously. But what if there are tiny differences between the universes that I could control? For instance, could I steer myself into a universe where I'm luckier than normal? So I flipped a coin and I got heads. Then I flipped again and I got another heads. Then I flipped again and got a third heads. That's an improbable event. So clearly, I'd wended my way through 3 universes and into a universe where I was luckier than when I started flipping. So I flipped another.
Let me guess you got a heads.
Nah, I got a tails, so I had to start again. But in the end, I managed to flip 10 heads in a row just before coming here.
How long did that take?
Like 3 hours.
What a productive use of time.
But it worked. I just got free basketball tickets from a guy who can't stand me. How do you explain that if this isn't my lucky universe?
This might just be the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
You know, the version of you I left 10 universes ago was a lot more open-minded.
So, how long can you stay in your lucky universe?
What do you mean?
Well, why hasn't someone else burst in here with free tickets to, I don't know, a Celine Dion concert?
I see your point. Perhaps, of course, because every decision event sends you into a new universe. Then my decision to accept the tickets threw me back into a random, non-lucky universe.
So it's a one-time hit?
Very interesting.
Hey, couldn't help overhearing. So I just have to flip multiple heads in a row to get my lucky universe?
It's called the many worlds interpretation, my friend, which you'd know if you did quantum mechanics in college.
Why, I'm gonna start flipping right now.
Come on, lucky universe. Papa needs a brand new kitchen.
Hey, Dave. Louise wants to see you.
When? Now?
No, Friday morning, 10 a.m.
Wow, when that luck runs out, it really runs out.
Friday morning? 10 a.m.?
Strange Louise doesn't book meetings in Outlook like everyone else. It's open!
You know, I just passed two guys in the corridor, flipping coins like their lives depended on it.
I saw that all over the place on the way home. Dave's idea spread through the neighborhood like a virus.
Well, let's get bashing each other with swords. You have your big fight tomorrow night.
Before we do that, I was thinking about what Dave said the other day about intuition. Remember we looked at all that messy code structure last episode?
How could I forget?
Well, I think what he said is the answer, why software engineering in the structural sense doesn't seem to be like other engineering fields. Care to join me another place?
Lead on.
The thing is, as programmers, we're sort of foundationless. Electronic engineers go to college and learn Maxwell's equations, then understand electricity and magnetism for the rest of their careers. We seem to lack those inarguable laws that can then be passed down to the next generation so that they don't have to waste time reinventing them. Instead, each generation stalls, flails, undervalues the lessons learned by those before them, and then becomes sort of blind even to the problem itself, leaving us here with bad structure after bad structure costing untold millions of dollars every year. The purest example of this is in the otherwise truly great book Refactoring, Improving the Design of Existing Code, written by Martin Fowler in 1999. If any book can claim to be a foundational tome for our enterprise, this may be it. It contains that immortal definition: refactoring, a change made to the internal structure of software to make it easier to understand and cheaper to modify without changing its observable behavior. Almost every programmer refactors these days. That is, almost every programmer claims to be able to improve the structure of existing code. But the key passage in the entire book, and one of the most damning sentences ever written in the field of software engineering, is this: one thing we won't try to do here is give you precise criteria for when refactoring is overdue. In our experience, no set of metrics rivals informed human intuition. This sentence explains a great deal of the disarray we saw in the source code structures of the previous episode. Not that Fowler's to blame. He didn't issue this as a decree that was then taken up by the intuitive hordes. Fowler just put into print the ethos he saw all about him, an ethos that had already pervaded the programming world back then and pervades still today. Refactoring is improving source code structure, presumably to arrive at good source code structure. So Fowler is essentially saying here, we won't give you the criteria for good source code structure because your own informed intuition is the best judge. So, good source code structure is ultimately about personal intuition. Informed intuition to be sure, but intuition nonetheless. And your intuition is different from my intuition. So your idea of good source code structure is different from mine. And suddenly we've lost a common yardstick to judge source code structure against. So anything goes. Which is precisely what we saw last episode. This is almost the opposite of engineering. Civil engineering is not about intuition. Good bridges don't support the traffic they were designed for because the engineer had a good intuition for bridges. They support their traffic because the engineer understood the loads involved, the materials to be used, the ability of those materials to withstand those loads involved, and the construction processes used to assemble those materials into their final form. Civil engineers don't design bridges that they know will perform, but don't know how they know this. They know precisely how they know this. Chemical engineering is not about intuition. Would you swallow 2 pills from a bottle that had a sticker on it reading, "This medicine was not approved by any health authority, but our chemical engineers have a good intuition for how the medicine should cure your illness. They know it will work, but they don't know why. or even how they know. Mechanical engineering is not about intuition. Would you fly on a plane if the flight attendant said, at the end of his roundly ignored safety demonstration, "This plane is not approved by any aviation authority, but the mechanical engineers who built it have a good intuition for what the forces on it should be like when we hit 30,000 feet." Okay, this is laying it on a bit thick, and no doubt intuition is a crucial part of all fields of engineering. Innovation requires some degree of intuition. A bridge designer might use a material that has never been used before in bridge construction, but she'll still test that material at length to satisfy herself that it will be effective. She won't just know that it works without knowing how she knows this. The core bodies of knowledge of all fields of engineering are not mostly intuition, but are dry, dusty, yet tried and true relationships and equations. Certainly, few foundational manuals of mature engineering contain a passage like, "One thing we won't try to do here is give you precise criteria for when bridges should be strengthened, chemicals should react, wings should be reinforced. In our experience, no set of metrics rivals informed human intuition." No. Yet for all this, Fowler might be right. Perhaps source code structuring is not engineering. Perhaps good source code structure is fundamentally dependent on personal human intuition, and there will never be a set of metrics that can identify it. But can we at least agree that we'd prefer if there were such a set of metrics? That we'd prefer if good source code structure were not dependent on anyone's intuition and instead could be evaluated with such a set of impersonal, intuitionless metrics. Isn't that something we'd like? Because that's what we're going to try to do here. Or at least that's the direction we're going to set out in. The underlying assumption for everything we do here is that good source code structure does not depend on human intuition. And if we're wrong, at least we tried. So, how will we do this? Well, there is one process of knowledge accumulation that we clever humans have thought up and that we might apply here. It tries extraordinarily hard to avoid human intuition, bias, and opinion as a basis for understanding the world around us. It is science. We are going to use science to investigate source code structure. And we begin in the next episode. Look, it's getting late. We'd better get practicing Dark Souls or Macy will wreck me tomorrow night.
Well, this was worth the trip. You know, even though you need to practice, you should get to bed early tonight. You need your sleep to be refreshed for the fight.
Good point. Let's fight. No time to lose. Oh my god.
So how's that sword arm of yours for the big fight tonight?
Terrible, I'm exhausted. I've been awake since 4:30 this morning.
Nerves?
No, you!
Me? What did I do?
Everyone in my apartment block woke up early to start flipping coins before they went to work. The noise was terrible.
Well, I don't want to worry you, but I hear Macy's taking the entire day off so that she can spend all afternoon trying to get into an 11-head universe before your game starts.
She's falling for this too.
I'd watch out for that first swing of hers if I were you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dark Souls.
Look at her. She hasn't made a decision since she got here. She's primed.
And fight.
Oh, that was a savage first swing by Macy. She can finish Structure off with a simple follow-up.
Oh, except that was a terrible follow-up. Structure's back in it.
Wait, he's destroying her. She's all over the place.
Oh, Macy spends so many hours flipping coins that she's exhausted her thumb muscles.
She lacks the fine motor control to repel Structure's relentless blows.
She's done for.
I feel a comment change could be coming up. Did you see that display of incompetence last night? I mean, I was bad, but she was terrible. And aren't you cutting it a bit close for a lie-in? Your meeting with Louise is in a couple of minutes, isn't it? Oh my God, you're doing this Lucky Universe nonsense again. So you're not going to make a decision till she asks you whether you deserve a pay raise? Well, scurry along, unlucky one.
Ah, Dave. How have you been, Dave? Work going well? Oh, I see. You're in your Lucky Universe. How many heads? Well, good. I like a man who comes prepared. By the way, would you like a delicious buttery Scottish shortbread cookie?
Oh, yes, please. Oh, damn it!